Hi, this is Stephen Warren Hill, co-author of Red, White, and Who, The Story of Doctor Who in America, and you're listening to PODcastica.
Welcome to Night of the Living Geeks. If you geek out over it, we've got a podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of PODcastica, a Doctor Who review podcast here on NOTLG.com, episode 133, Logopolis. That's what we're going to be talking about this week. But before we do that, my name is John, and joining me, as he does every time we watch a doctor plummet to his death, or her death, Taylor. Hello.
Hey. Hi.
How are you?
I'm a little banged up and worse for wear at the moment.
Yeah.
But I'm here and I'm conscious and cognizant.
Good. I'm glad you are all of those things.
Yes. Let me just tell you folks, don't hang metal road signs in your garage where a ladder could bang into them and knock them off.
Yes, please don't do that.
I now have 4 staples in my head.
Yeah, goodness.
Yeah. I didn't even show you pictures.
No, you didn't. I don't know if I want to see pictures.
And that's okay if you don't want to see them.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to.
I don't blame you. It wasn't big. It's only about an inch gash. But yeah, ended up in urgent care yesterday afternoon.
Yeesh.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Oof. Well, I'm glad you were feeling something.
Yeah. Honestly, if we had normally recorded on Sunday nights, I might have pushed it off.
Yeah.
I was pretty tired last night, but it did give me a chance to finish watching the last half of Logopolis, so that it worked out.
Yes, it did. It worked out just fine.
It did. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. Football is in full swing. I just watched the Jets destroy the Detroit Lions 48-17. Goodness gracious. Also went to Long Beach Comic Con this past weekend.
That's right. How was that? I saw Lauren dressed up as 13.
Yes, she did.
Cool.
It was a lot of fun.
Good.
Because last year, obviously, I went as I was there promoting the network, so I didn't get to see a lot of the stuff. But it was a lot of fun, just walking around the art part of the con was huge. It was gigantic. It was mostly art. It seems like an art-heavy con, which is great. There's a lot of cool Doctor Who art, obviously. We got some Who art for our room.
Cool.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We were thinking about going the next day, but we did not end up doing that. But we're starting to hang up art in our room here. I have I'm waiting on some shelves for my side of the room, and then I will put some pops up and some of the art I got.
Nice.
So yeah, it was nice. Yeah, it was fun. It was good stuff.
Well, I think I'll actually be able to contribute to that a little bit. Just,
yes.
Keep an eye on the mail.
I will keep an eye on the mail. I'm very excited.
Should be Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. I'm getting a lot of stuff in the mail this week. I'll just listen. I got my Sam Darnold pop vinyl. Sam Darnold is the new quarterback for the New York Jets, so it arrived just in time. I'm getting a bunch of other stuff.
Known that otherwise.
All right, shall we get to the Who news?
Let's do it.
All right.
Because finally, at long last.
Oh my goodness.
I know. After I was fully expecting both the official Doctor Who accounts to ban me, because every time they were like, hey, look, here's another 10 seconds of a promo, I would do that thing on Twitter where it's like I'm writing in all caps and I'm putting clapping in between each of my words.
I know.
And now we have a premiere date and a first episode title.
Yes.
So set your clocks for Sunday, October 7th, and get ready for The Woman Who Fell to Earth.
Yes. Finally.
So excited. I know.
Jeez.
I'd like to say that I did predict this date.
You did?
I did, based on when they were dropping, or when they announced that they were dropping the first 13th Doctor comic. I'm like, well, if it's this day, the weekend before is going to be this.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing this, and I still kind of wish it was the 23rd of September just because that's sooner, but I will gladly settle for October 7th.
Yeah, unfortunately, we will be coming back from a wedding that day.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yes, but and I say unfortunately because I think I might be missing. We got to figure out what we're gonna do. You might have to call in you might have to call in You either might have to call me or you might have to call a third party here.
Okay. Well, now they are doing. For those of us in America, at the very least, they are simulcasting the premiere. So as it airs in England, they will air it on BBC America, and then they will air it again that evening in its regular primetime slot.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So if you're stuck at a wedding, you will be able to see it in the evening, unless it's an evening wedding, and then you're kind of screwed.
Oh, I'm just saying we will be coming back that day from a wedding. The wedding's on Friday. Gotcha. We will be in the Bay Area, so.
Oh.
Yeah. Just a quick trip.
Could have had you live in, well, it's not really a studio. It's more of a 3D printing lab right now, but as there are 2 3D printers running in the room right now.
Ah. But yes, we will figure, not for that episode, but we're going to, for those next 2 episodes, we're probably going to have to figure out what to do here. And we will talk about that off air. Anyway.
So yes, very excited for that. Now, Chris Chibnall has confirmed in now the tweet that I saw said the Times. I'm assuming that means the Radio Times, not the New York Times or something else like that. That we will not see. You ready for this? River, Missy, the Paternoster Gang, or the Weeping Angels again.
All right.
We also won't see the Daleks or the Cybermen for a while.
Okay.
So, a little sad about parts of that. Kind of okay about other parts of that. But yeah, Chibnall definitely doing here's a fresh break, a new start. We're making it our own. We're changing the wallpaper kind of thing.
So who does that leave?
Who does,
he didn't say, what was the rumor? We saw like that.
The Sontarans?
Yeah, he didn't say the Sontarans.
Didn't say the Sontarans, that's true. Although Strax is a Sontaran, he's part of the Paternoster Gang.
Very
so
true.
We wouldn't see Strax specifically. I mean, that leaves a bunch.
Yeah,
didn't say anything about the Zygons.
Very true. It does leave a
say anything about the Slitheen, although I really don't want them to come back.
No. I think we're good off that. Well, all right then. I'm fine with it. Let's see it. Let's see where it goes.
You know what? I have such excitement and faith in what I have seen so far, despite the fact that the BBC can't announce a date to save their lives. I'm sorry. I'm going to harass them for a long time about that. That was a really poorly done experience. You look at any responses, whether it's Instagram or Twitter, when they would put something up and they're like, that's not a date. Where's a date? Give us a date already.
Yeah.
You're driving me crazy.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, I'm like, okay, I'm on board. I realize that you've remodeled the train and you've moved the tracks. Let's see where this goes. I'm that on board.
Oh yeah.
I'm willing to just put my faith in him and take the ride.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Well, amongst other things that you can get once the 13th Doctor, well, actually at this point, once the 13th Doctor has come and gone for this season, but with the 13th Doctor comes the 13th Little Miss book.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yes, it's very cute. I'm excited. I actually only have the 7th. I do want all of them. I've read the 7th one to the kids a few times. And if it means that, it gets the kids a little bit more into Doctor Who, because we've kind of had to push back introducing them to the show itself. I'm all for it. And 13 looks like it'll be fun. So
yeah.
I want the whole collection.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too.
So this next bit of news is, wow. It looks as though Matt Smith is joining the Star Wars universe. It looks as though he will be playing a character in episode 9.
Yes, this is very exciting. All of the fandoms are colliding.
Completely.
No word yet, obviously, as to whom or what Matt Smith will be playing, but
That's true.
I'm
It's a
excited.
Matt Smith droid.
Oh, I'd be fine with that.
That would be hilarious, especially if it was as manic as 11 was.
Yes, I would be 100% fine with that. Awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I still got to catch up with The Last Jedi. I have not seen that yet.
But, goodness.
Well, excuse me. I think you still haven't seen Rogue One.
Yeah, who cares?
Sorry, I had to throw a little yakety cast at you.
That's fine.
Oh, I could actually throw in a video game review if yakety cast was going on right now because I have fallen in love with No Man's Sky.
Oh, boy. Yeah, you have.
I really have.
I watched somebody play 10 seconds of that game the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was oh, this looks cool.
It is. It's, it's a procedurally generated universe and of like very big and it comes with no directions. Like you kind of have to figure it out as you go, but I got about 2 or maybe 2 or 3 hours into kind of just feeling my way around and I'm like, okay, I'm picking this up. I'm getting this. And now I'm like, I'm craving it. Like I really enjoy it. But anyway, if you're on my Twitter, I'm sorry. I've been spamming, pictures from what I've been playing lately. So,
no worries.
And if you enjoy it, good, enjoy it. But anyway, coming back around to the main road here, the BBC is bringing a special new series experience to, get this, the South Africa Comic-Con.
That's very interesting.
I think that's excellent. I mean, they came down there to film part of season 11. And so now they're bringing that back for, and I had no idea South Africa had a Comic-Con. I think that's awesome too.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So I think that's neat to kind of, hey, you let us film in your country. We're gonna come back and do something special for you guys. I think that's really cool.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's coming up this weekend.
Oh gosh, is it really this weekend? Wow. Well,
Johannesburg.
If you're listening to this and you happen to live in South Africa, let us know how it was.
Yeah,
let us know what happens. I don't know that we have any listeners in South Africa, but hey, who knows?
Stranger things have happened.
Indeed. Well, and lastly, this week, it seems like we've been doing this a lot lately. It's with sadness that we share the passing of Jacqueline Pierce, who played Chessine of the Franzine Grig in The Two Doctors. She was 74.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She was also the big bad in the TV show Blake 7.
Oh, I have heard of Blake 7. I've heard good things about it.
It is. It's good. I've seen some episodes of it. My folks watched it, when I was a kid, but I was more Doctor Who, but like Blake 7 would be on sometimes, so I'd see it.
Yeah.
And it is. It's a neat series. It's good. But yeah, when I was like, wait a second, I recognize her. What episode did we see her? And it was The Two Doctors. I was like, oh, of course.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
alrighty.
Well, yeah, it feels like we've been doing that too often. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Boy. But what I do like, horrible segue, I apologize, is Logopolis.
Yes.
Starring Tom Baker as the Doctor, Janet Fielding as Tegan, Sarah Sutton as Nyssa, Matthew Waterhouse as Adric, and Anthony Ainley as the Master. It was written by Christopher Bidmead and directed by Peter Grimwade.
Yes, the director with the most Transformer-like last name.
Yeah. Oh, man, Grimlock. Yeah. It first aired February 28th to March 21st, 1981, and it is the final story of Season 18 and of Tom Baker's run as the Doctor.
Indeed.
And I guess, also introducing Peter Davison as the Doctor.
I guess that's true, yes, in the last, half a second.
We will get to that, but until then, we got some story notes, so let's go through those. We got a slew of them.
Yeah, indeed. We do. Thank you, fine folks over at TARDIS Wiki.
Yes.
Logopolis comes from 2 ancient Greek words meaning city of speech, alluding to the oral calculations recited by the Logopolitans. And I am so glad that Tom Baker actually says Logopolitans.
Yes,
in the episode, because I was
that.
like Logopolitians, and I'm like, that can't be right.
Yeah.
It's like cosmopolitan and logopolitan.
Yes.
And if it was a beer, it would be a lageropolitan.
Oh.
Aha.
Interesting.
Indeed. So the Logopolitans are vital to the stability of the universe. They discovered long ago that the universe had passed the natural point of total collapse, which, that's generally a bad thing.
Yes, very bad.
Yeah. And so they used block transfer computation to create charged vacuum emboitments. That's just fun to say. Let's say it together, everyone. Emboitments. Emboitments. Freund-Leben.
Oh, boy.
Into other universes. Those are a couple of things that I think somebody, just was like, I need to come up with the craziest description for this. Emboitment. Yes.
Yeah.
That would be, there we go. Oh, well, our favorite spoiler alert, the cloister bell, is described as a sort of communication device reserved for wild catastrophes and sudden calls to man the battle stations.
Battle stations?
The TARDIS doesn't have battle stations.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Adric. The Doctor states that the TARDIS was in Gallifrey for repairs when he, quote-unquote, borrowed her, saying that there were rather pressing reasons at the time.
If you say so.
Sure. Works for me.
Yeah.
Now, the key plot point of shunting excess entropy into another universe, or literally shoving it into your kid's closet, as it tends to be, because trust me, those kids' rooms right now, Lordy, very entropic.
Yes.
Was previously used in an Isaac Asimov novel called The Gods Themselves.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And boy, oh boy, trust me, do we get an interesting lesson in entropy in this story.
Yes.
Excuse me. Lastly, tonight, the exact nature of the information given to the Doctor and Adric in unheard conversations with the Watcher is unfortunately never revealed.
Oh, boy. Well, let's get to your synopsis first, your world-famous synopsis, and then I might just open a wormhole at the beginning of this episode.
Oh, boy. Is that going to take us to E-Space with block transfer compute? Oh, never mind.
Oh, boy. Maybe.
Anyway, the Doctor is out to redesign the TARDIS exterior. Entropy has it a little shabby these days, when the Master rolls up with a little TARDISception and forces the newly reassembled team of companions to make their way to Logopolis in an attempt to thwart the Master's long con. And, along the way, a creepy white harlequin follows the crew.
Yes, a creepy white harlequin, the Watcher.
Yes.
Now, Taylor, boy, I could talk about...
Should we dive into this first?
I could talk about the Watcher for a very long time, but I don't know. Okay. Should we do that right now, or...
Why not?
Okay, so Taylor...
I don't have a good reason not to.
Do I have it in all red here?
You do have it all in red.
In part 4, I just have a note that says John gets distracted by looking up who exactly the Watcher is, a bunch of theories on that. I think I took a little 40-minute break.
Wow.
Yeah, just looking around to see who the Watcher exactly is. Now, Taylor, who do you think the Watcher is?
Well, I mean, as best I can tell, because I didn't do the research you did, and despite the fact that Logopolis is more than likely the very first Doctor Who episode I ever saw as a kid, I've never really dived into the theories of who the Watcher is, although I did momentarily go, hey, look, it's the Michelin Man.
Yeah.
It's not the Michelin Man.
No.
It just, well, it seems to me like a sort of slightly future fifth Doctor come to help the regeneration.
Yeah, that's kind of what I gathered, especially because we're fed the line, he was the Doctor all the time.
Right.
And it's like, wait, what? How did you come to that conclusion? Because, I mean...
Well, this is a story where we have TARDISes inside TARDISes.
Yes, and then he...
Possibly inside TARDISes.
He beckons him over, and he just goes inside of his body, and then we see him briefly before he turns into Peter Davison. Davison. I put a D in there.
Yeah, it's so easy to stick the D in there. I get it.
But, man, where was I going with that? Oh, so I saw a couple of different theories. Your theory is one of them, but there's a video on it, and I wish I had just screenshotted the... Basically what happens is it's an offshoot timeline where that Doctor is the fifth Doctor, but he like needs to disguise himself, but there's two timelines and things are getting all wibbly wobbly because of the because of what's happening on Logopolis.
Okay.
So it kind of splits into two separate timelines, but to write everything, that doctor needs to cross the timeline but go back further and then do the whole thing. So that's why we never really hear what he's saying to Adric or
the doctor.
You know what? That also might make sense because of how, I mean, one of the Fifth Doctor's last words was Adric, wasn't it? Oh boy.
No, because the Fifth Doctor was with Perry.
Words. But he said Adric.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
His last line, let me see. I will find it. I'm gonna find
it.
Right
this seems like a fan theory that needs to be like a Big Finish audio or something. Like explain that away.
I might regenerate. I don't know. Feels different this time. Adric, and that's it. That's his last word is Adric.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
So I mean, why would he just talk to Adric, which seems very weird, and then why would Adric never reveal what was said? I've also read another interesting theory that if the Valyard is made of everything that is evil with the Doctor, the Watcher is what remains.
After all the evilness is...
Yeah, all the good... No, like that's the other side is all the split good.
Yeah.
So...
Well, that would, I mean, white, black, that would make a kind of sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but I have no idea. Just the look of how they would shoot the Watchers, just very creepy.
Oh, incredibly.
Also he knows how to operate the TARDIS, which is another thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean...
That's true, although Adric was doing a pretty good job, too.
That's very true. So, I mean, I don't really know. There are a lot of theories out there, but those were the two that I really liked. But yeah, I wish someone would just... I mean, I guess with the mystery of the show, that's great, but I think that's one of the mysteries that fans are just like, what is this?
Yeah, and it would be nice. I mean, we are, 37?
Many years.
Yeah, 37 years out from when the story first aired. I think we can come to some closure on it now, don't you think?
Yeah, I might do a little more research just to see if I can find an actual... But those were the two most interesting ones I read. I also watched a video on one too, and just people are like, I don't know what is going on. But let's wrap on back around to part one. Can I just say the face they decided to go with on these opening credits is just awful.
Yeah, I really didn't pay close attention to it for the first two episodes, and then I happened to see that note that you made, and I was like, really? And I watched part 3, and I was like, oh, God, you're right.
Yeah, it is very, like they were just putting this together at last minute.
Something like that.
Another thing I took away is, man, nobody likes Adric.
Yeah, although I will give Adric a little bit of credit in this story for getting a bit sassy at times.
Oh, yes, definitely.
We are doing work.
Yes.
It's called math. I like maths.
Oh, he loves
apparently
maths.
It's plural in everywhere other part of the world, but here,
yes.
maths.
Oh, boy. Jeez. Tom Baker, I really like the room that they're in, this little viney thinking room.
Mm-hmm.
But he was really on point there. I liked everything he was doing with Adric in that room.
Yeah.
Man, what else? Oh, we missed. Okay, so there's a police box that this guy is trying to he's trying to make a phone call, but we noticed that another police box goes over that police box, and then that guy tries to go into the police box, and he becomes eated, but not really. I thought he was.
I tried so hard in this first episode to follow exactly, like anytime that they would walk into a TARDIS, okay, which one are they in now? And I got lost.
Yeah, it's
because what happens? I mean, we've got the just plain old Earth police box.
Yes,
that the Master's TARDIS kind of
lands
occupies, and then we have the Doctor's TARDIS, and the Doctor's busy going, you know what? We need to get back to Earth so I can take actual multidimensional measurements of an actual police box, so I can have the folks at Logopolis kind of craft an upgrade on this one, so it's more accurate. It just sounds like the guys back in the production house are like, we need to take actual measurements.
Yes.
We're going to remodel the police box for season 19, so let's go let's work this into a story here.
Yes, basically. So then he lands, that TARDIS is now in the Doctor's TARDIS, and then they go inside that TARDIS.
Right.
And then they go inside that TARDIS, and then they go inside, and it's just
it's literally
a mess.
TARDISception.
Oh, it's a mess, but it's also...
It's a complete mess.
And I love the further they go, the darker it gets. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, we are introduced to Tegan.
Yeah, kind of interesting getting an introduction to a new companion in the story in which a Doctor generates.
That's very strange. I found that to be very, very interesting, very strange. And I was like, where's Nissa? Where did she go?
Oh, yeah. There's a little bit of Keeper of Traken that you kind of need to know in order to understand some of the stuff in Logopolis.
Yeah, because that was the other point I was going to make, is because the Watcher goes kind of into the body of the Doctor or merges with him. That is basically what happens in the previous serial, kind of, right, with the Master and Nissa's dad.
Yeah,
something.
Tremus, which is strangely enough is Master backwards.
Jeez,
subtle.
Oh boy. Anyway, so TARDIS within a TARDIS within a TARDIS within a TARDIS. Tegan is going to work, and her aunt is driving her for some reason.
Well, yeah, and you know what? I'm sorry. I have to correct myself because somebody out there is getting angry right now. No, Tremus is not the Master backwards. It's an anagram.
Anagram
of the Master. I just went, wait a second. That's not right. Blame the staples in the head. It's probably the only time I can do that.
He doesn't know what anagrams are anymore.
But yes, Tegan is on her first day. She's off to her first day of work as an airline stewardess. Her Aunt Vanessa is driving her in apparently a pretty classic British sports car because it doesn't want to start.
Yeah, it does not want to start. And man, what are we doing here? We're just driving a car along. We get the cloister bells. We get a flat, and Tegan's like, well, I better go roll this tire down the road. And she gets about 2 feet, and she sees the police call box, and she goes, oh, okay. But before this, there's a really cool little practical effect where the Doctor goes, well, here's how the chameleon circuit should work. And that keyboard pops out of the console.
Yes.
That was very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they only did that once in the 4-parter. They might have done it one more time, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
But I was like, where is this? I haven't seen this before. This should be happening every episode.
Right. And I love the screen little pops up, and he's kind of talking his way through how the chameleon circuit works. And to me, it just looks like they're getting ready to play Pitfall.
Yes.
Because here we've got this little pyramid, and, all the CGI is brought to you by Turtle Basic programming, which I remember doing in elementary school.
Oh, man. Yeah, it was, and he says basically, if we wanted to look like a pyramid, I would just do this, I'd hit this, and then we'd be a pyramid. And he's like, wow, maths.
Yep.
I'm magic. I have a star. And I also have a rope for a belt. He just he just really got the short end of the stick there on.
It's what the worst part is. It's and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be ragging on Adric because it seems like everybody does that, but it's the haircut.
But he also kind of looks like a HR Puff and Stuff character.
Well, yeah.
Which I guess makes sense, because when was this? The early 80s?
Very early 80s, and I think HR Puff and Stuff was very late 70s.
There we go.
Yep.
HR Puff and Stuff. Anyway, so Tegan gets curious, goes into the vehicle, and the vehicle is the TARDIS. I don't know why I said that, but there we are.
Because it's a vehicle.
Yeah. We get the Watcher around this. Man, the Watcher just hanging out in the background in that field by that gate is just.
I've got to wonder when they were shooting that, because I mean that's a live motorway.
Yeah, I actually looked it up, and they're like, "This is where he first saw the Watcher."
Exactly.
That's so
Do you
funny.
think people driving by? I mean, I'm sure there were camera trucks and production crew and everything, so you probably saw that. But I'm sure somebody driving by saw the Watcher first and went, "Oh my God, what the flip is that?"
We're finally being invaded.
Yeah, right. The ghost of the M4.
Yes, good. Ugh, so creepy, and even you don't even get to really see the detail of the costume ever.
Not until like the very
when he goes to talk to
end.
Adric, kind of.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like feathery,
kind of flaky, like long nails.
Yeah, and
it is kind of gross.
Oh, that was the other thing. They mentioned that room that the that's on Logopolis, the one they recreate when everything starts to go crazy, go nuts. You can tell things are deteriorating, and it kind of looks like a spider web, but that's kind of how his hands look.
Yes.
So that was more of that split off timeline, him coming back from the alternate one anyway.
Right.
And the papier-mâché mask. So was that really his face, or is he just covering up what his face actually was?
I don't know. Maybe some season will be introduced to the papier-mâché doctor.
Oh my, that would be insane. I don't think I can deal with that.
What if that's
what if if the show is ever like ended, they're like, we already know what, like it's in a golden vault somewhere that they've kept secret. And it's just like, this is the script that you have to film. And
this has to be the end.
This has to be the end. And it's just the doctor going back, wearing a papier-mâché mask and merging with it's just an infinite loop.
But then how would you explain the curator?
That was another thing that kind of came into play with the curator.
Really?
Yeah, that was another thing. He is part of canon, and I'm not really sure how, but dude, I went into TARDIS Wiki a hole and found some very interesting stuff.
I have to wonder, because Tegan, I would have imagined she would have just picked up the phone in the police box rather than go inside, but she's gone really far into this little police box, and at no point is she going, okay, wait a second.
Yeah, she does not seem. She has the least reaction to being in a TARDIS I think I've ever seen.
Yeah,
where she's just like, this all right, I guess this is a spaceship.
Well, and that might just be kind of that sassy, mouthy Tegan. She's unimpressed by, it being bigger on the inside.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. Aunt Vanessa claiming she can see a garage. No, you can't. You're in the middle of nowhere. What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's definitely
we saw the wide shot.
Yeah, that's right.
How dare you?
She's got really good eyesight, apparently.
Well, good. I mean, she did have very good eyesight. Womp womp. R.I.P.
Action figures.
TARDIS inside a TARDIS inside a TARDIS. She pulled to open, but it pushed to open. That's what happened.
Of course.
She went to go. I can't remember. She she just gets in the TARDIS, and Aunt Vanessa follows her, but does not get as far.
Nope.
The Doctor, man, it's very confusing with all the TARDISes.
It is.
He gets out of the TARDIS, but when he gets out, the police are there, and this is some good stuff.
It is.
Where he's talking about the vehicle, and he goes, "Which vehicle?"
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Where are the people in this car?" He's like, "I don't know what car you're talking about." And then they go, and he sees the little figurines, and then he puts two and two together that the master is around.
Yes,
he did
with
not
his
get
sonic
rid of him.
doll maker.
Yes, his sonic doll maker, and he's still about somewhere. Opening of part 2 is exquisite. It is.
It is. Before we dive into that, can I just say that Doctor Who, if it's not quarries, it's corridors. We
yes.
had a lot of corridors.
Oh,
in this
yes. We got so many. Wow, there was a lot. Yeah. There was.
But anyway, let me not distract you anymore from the beginning of part 2.
So part 2 is just fantastic. The open is amazing. It's just the doctor trying to get out of the situation of being not arrested, but just being brought in for questioning. And then yelling to Adric, now if you'll help me to create a diversion, which is hilarious. And Adric seemingly tries to ride a bike, but pretends to break his leg. And then when the police go to help him, the doctor runs away. And in the midst of this, Adric just hucks the bike at a police officer.
Yes.
And they get back into the TARDIS. And oh my goodness. Now, no, this has not happened yet. I was going to say the doctor conversation hasn't happened with the Watcher yet.
Not yet.
Do you want a quick decision or a debate? Sorry. It's just like a father and son yelling at each other.
Oh, completely. And I think at one point the doctor goes, "This is life. Nothing's sure." So true. There's some great lines.
There are a lot of great lines in this. I do have the note. So when opened by the police, it appears just to be a police box, or did they just leave the other police box behind? Oh wait, that was a TARDIS. Look, I'm very confused. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's we get that awesome TARDIS engine stutter sound that I love so much.
Yes.
And they managed to take off. So I guess the Doctor's TARDIS took off with the Master's TARDIS inside.
Yes, and
left the
police box behind.
The police box. We'll call it a police box instead of TARDIS because,
Yes.
And that's what happened.
I guess they put 2 and 2 together that the Master, which I don't know how they figured that out, but all right, I guess.
Did you not hear him like laughing in the background like every 5 minutes?
Is that just supposed to be who it is when he laughs like that?
Yeah. How do you not recognize?
Oh, well, I just figured since it's a different body and it was a different person. Wait, is it a different person?
No.
Oh, so Ainsley played the deformed one as well?
I'm pretty sure Ainley played the deformed Master. I'd have to look that up real quick.
I'm on it. I wonder, there were 2 deformed Masters. So Gregory Bevers played him in 81.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Jeffrey Bevers. Goodness gracious. And it looks like he played the deformed one.
Oh, okay.
So he played the deformed one, and then I assume I'm trying to see when he played Light at the End. Oh yeah, he played him in The Keeper of the Traken.
Yeah, Keeper of Traken. Yeah.
So he played him in that. So I'm just wondering if his laugh was maybe similar or what. I don't know.
Good question. I mean, the Master's got a pretty notable laugh. I mean, I think so, but I've watched tons of classic Who.
So, I mean, there you go. So that's why I was like, well, how does he know, like, that he took the power of the Keeper ship?
Well, and if nothing else, I mean, obviously the tissue compression thing. Sorry, Stables.
That's fine. That's fine.
That is a classic Master weapon.
Right. Oh yes, the little marionette. Yes.
Yeah, his sonic doll maker.
Fair enough. So the
that's the giveaway.
All right. Yes, that makes sense because he saw that and then said it's the Master. Okay. Mm-hmm. There we go. So we're gonna put the TARDIS in water and flush out the Master.
Project Aquarium.
Well,
that's what I'm calling it.
Project Aquarium does not work, and we are just on a boat.
We're on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna float.
And this is where I just have, what will my costume consist of? Well, you'll have a belt that is made of a rope. That's all I have. I guess that was the first time I noticed he was He just had a piece of twine for a belt. Jeez.
Yeah, he didn't come from a very rich family in East Space.
No, I guess not.
But yeah, they end up on a boat, and who's chilling up there on the bridge being like, guys, you missed.
Yeah, is the Watcher, and the doctor goes, well, I guess I'm gonna go talk to him. So he goes to talk to him, and it's very expressive conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if we take anything away from that scene, it's very expressive on the doctor's part, and then kind of okay, I guess, and then just walks away, and then goes, well, we got to go to Logopolis.
Yeah.
And, man, when Tegan enters the control room, and Adric and the doctor just like, wait, what? That is the funniest. It's so funny.
It's great.
That is some good stuff. So we head to Logopolis, and interestingly enough, they're in a rock quarry, but it isn't a real rock quarry.
Yeah, that is an interesting point.
What is happening? Did they rent the rock quarry out to somebody else that weekend?
It's possible, I suppose. I mean,
very interesting.
Other sci-fi shows.
And the Master's TARDIS is now a bush, and apparently...
Well, now, come on. This is England.
Shrubbery?
Home of Monty Python. It's a shrubbery.
I did say... I said shrubbery.
Okay.
It is a shrubbery, and no one notices this gigantic shrubbery and the dudes in the background in Logopolis. They didn't notice it materializing next to them.
They're very focused on math.
Fair.
Or something.
Fair enough. Tegan is very upset. She just wants to not be wherever she is right now.
No, and I love it because, my reaction to kind of her is tonight on Doctor Whoever You Are.
Yes, Doctor Whoever You Are. Ooh, that's a new one. I liked the pillar when it turned into the pillar. I like that.
Yeah. Slightly more fitting, although not. Yeah. It's close.
It's close enough. Nothing like watching a whole bunch of old white guys sitting around in their own individual caves playing with abacuses.
Yeah.
Nothing makes for interesting television.
Right.
But apparently they're also psychically connected, which is kind of cool.
They are literally like chanting math to shape the universe.
Yeah, they've got an important
that's not
job.
A bonkers concept.
They've got an important job.
They do indeed. And this chanting when the monitor, as he's called, is sitting down at this computer doing like data entry into this replica of what's called the Pharos project, which is like a reverse SETI.
Yes.
And I'm like, you know what? I say stuff to my computer sometimes, but it sounds so much more angry than that.
Yeah. Yes. I hear to that. Man, you know what I really liked about this was the model of the planet that we saw, or at least of the caves and the satellite. I don't think we've ever really have we ever seen anything, at least in episodes that we've reviewed, of having like a little model be a replica for a planet we're on. Oh well, I guess the boring Dalek one we watched, that one.
Oh yeah,
kind of, but that was just like a building. It wasn't like the whole side of a planet.
That's true. We're thinking of your 4th grade mission project.
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm glad it was put to good use.
Right.
Oh yes. So we're chanting to figure out what's wrong with the chameleon circuit.
Yeah, he's basically like coming up with code to reprogram it.
Yes, and the master goes, "Nah, I'm going to make that guy a little wooden guy, and I'm also just going to screw everything up."
Yeah. I'm going to inject a little malware into this.
Yeah, so the doctor is like, cool, I've got this. And then, we find out, this is where we find Nyssa at the end of episode 2. And they're like,
Nyssa shows up.
She's like, oh, hey, one of the doctor's friends brought me here. And it's like, who are you talking about? It's very strange.
That creepy white guy over there.
Yeah, and he's here. The Watcher is also here. So seemingly the Watcher can travel through time and space without the aid of any time machine.
Do we know that for sure?
Oh, that we can see, I guess.
We're not... This isn't Watcher Who. This isn't The Watcher. We're not following
Yeah.
the Watcher's every step. So there may be a TARDIS tucked away somewhere that we don't know about.
Interesting. Maybe. Well, the Doctor tries to fix the chameleon circuit, but the TARDIS begins to shrink.
Hey, we've seen that before.
Yes, we have. More recently than earlier.
Yeah.
More recently than earlier. I don't know what that...
You know what? That could just be our alternate title. More recently than earlier.
There you go.
It's really going to confuse people.
No one take that title because we could use it for something. I don't know what. But, the TARDIS begins to shrink, and that's pretty much where we end part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Then we open part 3, and we're finding errors in the code.
Yeah, my math didn't work. It hurts my head.
Yes. And the Master tricks Nyssa, which is just like... I mean, it's probably not your dad. Look how creepy he's being.
Well, yeah. Before we get more into the Master here, can I just say, I loved the scene where you've got like these 4 Logopolitans kind of carrying the TARDIS around. I would love, I'm going to put this out into the universe because I've got my own cosplay set up for Galley 1. I want to see 4 people dress as Logopolitans lugging around like a quarter-sized TARDIS.
That would be so great.
That would be the best. That would be just the most like, deep, slightly obscure but gettable cosplay. That would be a great group cosplay.
Yes it would. Oh man,
somebody make that happen.
That's a very good idea. Oh man, goodness. So Nyssa is tricked by the Master, and meanwhile, the TARDIS is fixed, and apparently the Master gives Nyssa an infinity bracelet, and it even has the infinity gems in it, or the infinity stones.
Right.
It's very weird. And I actually have a very funny thing that I thought about the bracelet. Do I?
Yeah.
I think I have it written. I had to have written. Yes, okay, I got it. But so the Doctor is back to normal, and I can't remember how Tegan's aunt's brought up, but
yes,
it happens
because the Monitor is going, talking about how some of the Logopolitans have been murdered.
Yes,
and the
along
way
with
in
some
which,
other people. Yes,
yeah, along with like the Earth people murders. And it's like, ooh, awkward.
And he's like, "Oh, Tegan, I'm so sorry. I'm very, very sorry." Anyway.
Exactly, and it very much is in any way, and you can actually hear Tegan kind of crying in the background.
And then he says, "I'm going to stop him if it's the last thing I do." It would be.
Did you have to say that? Oh, geez.
Ron Howard voice. It would be.
That's right. Now, let me deconstruct a couple other things that I saw between the point where they realize, oh, hey, look, the code is messed up, and the part we just talked about. Because I think shortly after they find like the Logopolitan action figures new from Mattel.
Yes, they do.
I think it's the Monitor. Maybe it's the Doctor. He goes, sabotage. And I go, cue Beastie Boys.
Do I have sabotage written down? Sabotage. I do.
That's right.
I do have sabotage written down.
Because, that song makes pretty much every montage better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love when 4 says, he's like, I'm an ignorant doctor. And I always knew that I saw some Tom Baker in Capaldi's portrayal.
Yes. Yeah. Idiot doctor. Yes.
Exactly. Tegan's whole thing about like injecting Earth morality into, I'm looking at a sweatshop, mate. What's up with that? Crikey. Because she's Australian. Right? She gets in this whole thing. She's like, but they're just looking at abacuses and they're not even smiling. And he's like, we don't need to smile. We have math. And she's like, I don't get that. This is a sweatshop. You guys are making Nikes. What the hell?
Yeah.
Just do it. I don't, that seemed like something that was just kind of shoved into the story that, it kind of plays that part out and then we don't come back to it ever.
Yes. Yeah. That's just the end of it. Well, because the planet is exploding.
Well, entropy. That's right. And I'm kind of questioning the Master's choice of jackets and like who actually wears tails. anymore.
Evil people.
Apparently.
Yeah, I guess.
Apparently. But that seemed like an odd choice to me. That's not a very functional jacket. That's asking to get it caught in something.
Yes,
No
definitely.
capes dotting.
No, definitely. So Nissa chokes Adric, or she's about to choke him.
Yes,
because her
she's
hand
got
is
the
being controlled.
Dr. Strangelove arm going on over here.
And it doesn't happen. And I also love how not one person, and yes, I know they are involved in the maths, but I love that not one person is the least suspicious of this one dude in all black wandering around that doesn't look like anybody else on this planet.
It's almost like it's a commentary on how we're all focused on our phones and we're not observant to the world around us.
Oh, wow.
Dude.
Very cool. Very deep.
But in 1981.
Yeah, they knew. So
what I don't get is if the master controls Nissa's hand, why doesn't she just walk away from the target?
Oh, that's very funny, Taylor, because I wrote down the line, it gives me complete control over that hand. Yes, but not the rest of the body. Point being, everyone hates Adric because she does not try to stop choking him at all.
That is a damn good point.
Oh,
that is
goodness.
a damn good point.
Poor Adric.
I know.
He died saving the planet.
He did.
You jerks. Anyway, all I have written down is because we don't know him as the Watcher yet, I don't think, or do we ever know him as the Watcher?
I think maybe at the very end.
I just started writing down the Watcher because I
mean, I've always known him as the Watcher because I've seen the story a bunch of times. So yeah, that's just how I wrote it down.
He brought Nissa to Logopolis. Said he was a friend of the Doctor. Was told to prepare for the worst. Who are you? Who is you?
Who is you?
Who is you? I'm still confused. Like I don't even know if any of those theories are even anywhere close, and maybe that's what they wanted the whole time.
Probably. I mean, I almost, based on this, I would almost say that, the anti-Valyard.
That's a really good one. I like that one.
Kind of holds some weight.
That one's very cool.
I mean, he doesn't have a bird on his head, but okay.
Yes, but it almost looked like his boots might have had feathers on them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Somebody that asked Michael Jaston at... No, he wouldn't know. He'd be like, what? What story? I don't know.
Who? Yeah. What? I don't understand. So Logopolis starts to deteriorate.
Well, let's share why, because the Master basically uses some sort of like Marshall Stacks looking sonic device.
Oh, yes.
To halt all the computations, let's say. Logopolis falls silent.
Yeah. Oh, boy, does it ever.
Yeah, and then Logopolis falls completely.
Yes, it also quite literally falls on top of someone, and we are on a tight shot of this corpse under a rock for a very long time.
Yeah.
For an entire scene. Jeez. Goodness. Oh, further proving my point that everyone hates Adric, when Nissa stops herself from choking the monitor.
Yes.
Also...
God, you've got a dissertation forming here.
Yeah, also the monitor looks kind of like Norm Macdonald.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
It's in the eyes.
Doesn't sound like him so much, but yes, I can kind of see that.
No, definitely not.
Kids in the Hall do Doctor Who.
Yes, and
fun.
The Master basically says, "Hey, Doctor, we have to team up so the entire planet or all of existence doesn't collapse. A collab with the Master."
Yeah.
It's the mixtape I've been waiting for my entire life.
It is lit.
We get the handshake heard round the world.
Reluctant handshake. My gosh.
Yes, heard round the world. We're in part 4 now.
Yeah. Now let's note that the Doctor has shuffled all his companions into the TARDIS, being like, "Stay in here, you'll be safe."
Along with the Watcher.
Yes, along with the Watcher.
And he takes care, or he says he'll take care of them in an off-screen thing because we never hear the Watcher speak. Tegan is not on the TARDIS, though, because she's like, nah, I'm good.
No, he's my ticket home. I'm sticking with him.
Yes, and she goes to find the Master and the Doctor and the Monitor. But
I can't wait to talk about the Monitor here in a second because...
Well, things get a little wibbly-wobbly, and the Monitor...
turns around and goes, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
He saw his dad playing the guitar, and he started to fade away. Or was it his It was his dad. Yeah, it was nice.
Oh, boy.
Good.
Haven't seen that movie, but I know that...
Wait,
bit.
What?
I haven't seen that movie.
You haven't seen Back to the Future?
Wait, oh!
When he's in the crowd and his hand starts to disappear?
Yes, and the hand starts... Okay.
What movie were you thinking of?
Infinity War.
Oh, you're just making...
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
You were making a comment on your own... Okay. I was
Yeah.
very confused.
Sorry.
I am no longer confused.
No, I've seen Back to the Future more times than I can count.
Yes. Great movie. I actually have to share... I will share an artist who we saw this weekend. He does timeline things, and I got the green... Did you see the Green Lantern one I got?
I think I did, but I can't picture it in my head right now.
Well, he did one for all three of the Back to the Future movies, so it's a doodle of Marty and Doc from each one of those movies on us.
Oh, nice.
It's very cool. I'll send you. He does some good work. I wish I could remember his name right now so I could plug him, but I don't. Master gets messed up by some falling rocks, and we save him for whatever reason. Because we're the Doctor. And we're headed back to Earth, possibly.
Sort of. Well, mostly because they figure out that, the big old satellite dish on Logopolis is, it's falling apart.
Yes.
But wait.
Oh.
There's one just like it on Earth.
Yes, there is. I actually also... the Doctor does save the Master from the rocks that are covering him, and he actually says the line, "One good lift deserves another," and then lifts the rock off the Master.
Yes.
Oh, man. Good stuff. Meanwhile, on Earth, a man gets mad at a plastic cup.
Tonight on Top Gear.
So we basically...
Jeremy gets mad at him. Sorry.
He gets mad at a cup and throws it. Yep. Two strange men appear in his room. Well, that's basically what happens. We are in the pillar. We're in the Master's TARDIS.
We're in the Master's TARDIS. And its chameleon circuit does not turn into like a server stack or anything.
No. It's just a pillar.
It just stays looking like a pillar.
Which I guess, at this point. I don't know. The Master claims he's not going to shoot this guy, and the Doctor just goes to talk to him, and the Master tries to shoot him anyway, obviously. And we're inside of that room at the beginning of the serial in part 1, the viney, thinky room.
Yes.
And the Watcher wants to talk to Adric, and he apparently knows what's going on, but Adric doesn't tell us. He's also apparently wearing a polar bear jacket, so that's where I got the feathery.
Yeah.
And then this is where I got distracted, because I was at part 4, and I went, well, I'm almost done. I might as well get distracted for 45 minutes. Goodness gracious.
Right.
Let's see. What do I have? Oh, man. There's a musical piece that only lasted about 10 seconds, and I was so sad. And
now,
it was...
I feel like this musical piece, which I think we're thinking of the same one, actually does kind of get reused in the next couple of scenes, but it's like the only time in the whole story, possibly the only time in classic Doctor Who that I hear music like this.
Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, I have never heard anything like it either, and it's great. I mean, it's yeah,
it's kind of music, and I'm like, where did this come from? I've never.
You know what else?
I'm like,
go ahead. Sorry.
I'm either going to find a way to get a loop of it out of this episode, and I have made the plea on the PODcastica Twitter account. If any of our Doctor Who friends know if there has been music from this episode released, because the world needs to hear this, because it's good.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I really, really liked it. The other thing about the music is a very subtle thing that I heard, I want to say in the first episode and probably towards the end when it's time for us to say goodbye to our doctor, you can kind of hear like a doo-doo, kind of like that in the background. Like, it's kind of like the Doctor Who theme, just a little bit. It's very subtle, and it's just like a couple of bars, but it's very cool. I really enjoyed that as well.
I would have to go back and listen again because I missed that. Although I do love, speaking of music or musically related things, the Masters got this part called the Lightspeed Overdrive, and that was totally one of my favorite bands from the 70s.
Oh yeah,
Lightspeed Overdrive.
They had some good stuff.
Or it's a Buckaroo Banzai thing. I don't know.
Oh, I still got to watch that.
You do still have to watch that.
The Doctor takes the Master's gun and hucks it, and unfortunately for everyone, they've now been seen.
Yes, and that is like the thing that does it. It's like clank. Oh, what was that? Hey,
yes.
People.
Doctor's climbing the tower, and who says the universe is hanging by a thread? I don't know where that came from. I have that written down. I assume it's Tom Baker. I assume.
Yeah, because what the Masters, what they're trying to do is they're basically trying to inject some of this Logopolitan code into a charged vacuum emboyment in order to restabilize the universe. Now, they've already lost a big chunk of it. In fact, it's said on TARDIS Wikia that this episode indirectly has like the highest body count because you literally destroy part of the universe.
Yes.
So they're trying to restabilize it, but the Master goes, well, no, wait a second. Before we just fire this off into whatever CVE is out there, I'm going to hold the universe hostage for a minute.
Yes.
It's almost all going to go away, but I'm going to try to be in charge of it before it does.
Yeah. He sends out a quick message.
Yes.
And the Doctor goes, well, only while that cable's in there. And he goes, hoi, and like jumps and tries. He's on the scaffolding, which I've seen this match from old National Wrestling Alliance matches in the 80s. I've seen a scaffold match before. I don't know where I'd rate this one.
Did one wrestler trip another one with his scarf?
No. How did he get the scarf back on, though? That was because it fell off and it was completely off of him. And then in the next shot, oh, well.
Continuity.
Yeah. Very strange. The Master goes, all right, then, whatever. I'm just going to rotate this. I'm going to rotate this, and you're just going to fall off. And we get a small montage, a little fun montage of all the baddies, which is good stuff. And the Doctor falls off that scaffold real fast.
And, judging by how quickly Tegan and Adric snap their heads down, it's a very quick fall.
It's like, I'm surprised he is still a full person.
Yeah, well, Gallifreyan bone structure such as it is.
Ooh, goodness. So we get a montage. We get the companions surrounding our fallen Doctor. Our Doctor kind of being like, well, whatever. We get a montage of past companions. It's the end, but the moment has been prepared for.
Indeed it has.
So he then merges with, or something happens, I don't know. He merges with the Watcher, who's just kind of creeping up from behind.
Oh boy, floating into him.
He did. He floated right into him, and then he turned into the Watcher for a moment, and then turned into Peter Davison. And Peter Davidson sits up and is like, "Welp," and that's how the episode ends.
Yeah, pretty much. And not only that, but Peter Davison with actually really kind of dark brown hair.
Yes,
which he doesn't obviously end up with at the start of season 19.
No, he does not at all.
Maybe it's just an after effect of the regeneration,
I guess. Or maybe
his hair will lighten
it's
up.
that sweet Watcher hair that he has.
Oh God, yes.
I have no idea. I'm still very confused. Very, very confused. Well, I mean, that was Tom Baker's last story, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was very good.
Oh, absolutely.
And honestly, I know we joke about like who the Watcher is, but I feel like the mystery of that is, one of the cooler parts of Doctor Who lore. Like, who is this guy?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously with the Valyard, we ultimately figure out who he is.
Yeah.
We still have this mystery with
yes,
with Watcher.
Yes, but I do like that Valyard the Watcher theory. I think that's a very good theory.
I'm kind of sort of sold on that one, really.
Yeah, honestly, I think that one might be my favorite one, and the one that I will put into canon.
If you have a theory on who the Watcher is, please tweet at us.
Yes, please let us know, or if you have any interesting reading that we can look up on about the Watcher.
Yeah.
That would be great. That would be amazing. So, Taylor, you have not told me what we are going to be watching.
No, have you not gone down to look at it yet?
I have, but I was just doing a bit.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Do your bit.
Taylor, you have not told me what we are watching next week, but or in 2 weeks. But I would like you to now tell me.
All right. Well, we have time for one more episode.
Yes, we do.
Before season 11 starts. I never thought we'd get here. It felt like forever.
Yes.
We have watched a lot of Doctor Who between the end of season 10 and the soon-to-be start of season 11. And I have to admit, I was kind of tempted to do Dinosaurs on a Spaceship because it's a Chibnall episode.
Yes.
But instead, I stuck with going from blonde to blonde. We're doing Attack of the Cybermen, starring Colin Baker as the Doctor, Nicola Bryant as John's impersonation of Perry,
Doctor,
and David Banks as the Cyber Leader. Excellent.
Oh, I'm very excited for this. Just from the still
Yeah.
that I am looking at from Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, this will be a good one. I think this is the first episode of season 22, if I'm not mistaken.
It is indeed the first episode.
So it's the
season
first
22.
episode after Twin Dilemma, after his regeneration episode.
Oh, perfect.
Yes. Yes. So obviously Perry and the Doctor are still very much in the abusive honeymoon phase.
Yes, very much so. Goodness gracious. Well, that should be fun.
Right. Yeah, it's written by Paula Moore and directed by Matthew Robinson.
Excellent. And produced by John Nathan Turner.
Not surprisingly.
Not surprisingly at all. So,
Nope.
That's it for us this week. You can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at the PODcastica. You can follow me on Twitter at JPThrice, and you can follow Taylor on Twitter
At Apex Buddha.
Subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher, and also on Spotify. Just search Podcastica. Yes. Rate and review us as well. And SoundCloud.com/TheNOTLG is another place you can find all of our podcasts. Hey guys, we're less than a month away, so you should probably head on over to notlg.spreadshirt.com. Buy the Future in Time with Space is Female shirt and take a picture of it while you're watching the premiere, and we'll retweet you.
Absolutely.
And we will be friends forever. Forever.
Is that how it works?
Through time and space. Patreon.com/NOTLG. If you like what we're doing, or if you like what anybody else is doing on our fine network, we would appreciate anything you can monetarily provide us. That was correct, right, Taylor?
Yeah.
Perfect. Shout out to the Y-Axes. They're touring. They're putting out music. And whenever they put out music, they go, hey, do you want to use our music? And we say, yeah. And they say, go for it. So support them. They're great. Twitter.com/the-Y-Axes. Facebook.com/the-Y-Axes. The-Y-Axes.bandcamp.com. And they, like us, are also on Spotify. So join us again in 2 weeks' time for our last classic review for the foreseeable future, or at least until January.
Pretty much.
Attack of the Cybermen. And we will talk to you guys then. See ya.
Good night.
Right. Oh, yes, the little Mary, yes.
Yeah, his Sonic doll maker.
Fair enough.